Well, folks, it's here. And in addition to a Let's Play of Bioshock Infinite, I'm also doing a review, so you can know if it's worth your money or if it's a waste of time. This is Mega Matcat. Let's get rolling with a bang here, shall we? And go. Yeah. See, that's how you start things. Missile to the face. Welcome to Bioshock Infinite. So, for those of you not familiar, Bioshock Infinite is game 3 in the Bioshock series and serves as a sort of prequel slash retcon slash all kinds of other weird stuff going on. And the story features Booker DeWitt, a disgraced Pinkerton agent who has fallen into the wrong crowd, gambling, drugs, booze, etc., and has amassed a massive debt. As such, he makes an agreement to travel to the floating city of Columbia, retrieve a girl, and wipe his debt clean. So, let's go ahead and get started here. Booker is led to a lighthouse on a remote island where he is then shot in a rocket up above a storm through the clouds. And welcome to Columbia. Bioshock Infinite takes place in a 1912 alternate reality in which a city was made to fly and had at one time been part of the United States, but seceded over political and ideological views including race, religion, and American exceptionalism, as well as other factors. The game has a number of themes that Booker and various other characters explore, including, as you can see here, the idealistic 1912, the ideals of religion and how it can be corrupted and distorted. The game has tons of religious iconography, so get used to it if you're gonna play it. You also spend a good deal of time with this young woman, Elizabeth.
Real enough.
She is the objective of the game. She's the one you're supposed to take out of this place and return to New York with.
Just a minute, I'm getting dressed.
And she is, well, we'll get there. The game also deals heavily with themes of race, class, the upper crust mistreating the downtrodden, etc., 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 as well as the reverse, as well as dealing with the idea of the underclass revolting and becoming just as monstrous as their oppressors.
Oh, looks like we've got a shot. Wait.
But as you would imagine, Booker is soon made as a bad guy, or, well, in their eyes, the devil himself.
Makes you the backstabbing snake in the grass, false shepherd.
And as he's about to explain to them, you do not mess with the former Pinkerton agent. Guess what, boys? Surprise! So yeah, you don't mess with Booker. And to hammer that point home, this is a scene from later in the game to demonstrate some of the gameplay. One of the biggest additions to the gameplay of the Bioshock universe is these things right here. The skyline. Many of Bioshock Infinite's levels are spread over wide open spaces with massive amounts of room. And you can use these rails to go from place to place, navigate large sections of the map, and get elevation to reach targets otherwise unassailable by going vertical. In this case, Booker's using them to assault a Zeppelin that is raining fire down upon his troops, which is a whole nother part of the story altogether. Thank you for the freaking shotgun. You have a variety of weapons, including rocket launchers, pistols, shotguns, machine guns, and a few other odds and ends, including grenade launchers, flaming grenade launchers, and a shotgun that shoots fireballs. Or something. I'm not sure. All I know is you point it at something you want dead and it dies. Booker himself is an extremely skilled man, but with the addition of a shield, which you see right there, the addition of the Vigors, which are the plasmids of the game, superpowers such as lightning, fire, or this little move, the Bucking Bronco, knocking enemies into the air and making them easy to take out. Booker becomes a force to be reckoned with. He also has an Electro Bolt knockoff, which is very effective, but is actually not as useful in this game as it was in the previous ones. Because unlike the later games, most of the enemies here aren't electrical purely, they're mostly clockwork. Like this big guy, the Motorized Patriot. And now he's done. There's my shield recharging again. I disable the engine of this Zeppelin. And I'm leaving.
Get off this thing.
And so long as there's a skyline in range of you visibly, you can land on it. Now, on to the graphics and audio. Bioshock is beautiful, as you can see right here. Bioshock is different from its predecessor, Bioshock 1 and 2. Infinite does something very interesting. Its world isn't the decrepit, disheveled, falling apart, underwater metropolis Rapture. It's a living, breathing city, still inactive. You know, still actually alive, yet at times you'll see it from various different perspectives and time frames, such as this dilapidated version later on in the game. The game does a marvelous job of comparing the vibrant and bright, beautiful world of Columbia in one era to the destroyed, devolving, chaotic land that follows later,
left in me, just to bring you
as
here.
this scene will show you.
Elizabeth, I don't understand. I heard you screaming. I was coming to get you. Are we...
Here. Take my hand.
So the little girl he went to rescue all those years ago is an old
Seed
woman.
of the prophet shall sit the throne and drown in flame the mountains of man. Say what you will about Comstock. He was a hell of a fortune teller.
And this is one possible future.
Wasn't the torture that broke me. Wasn't the indoctrination. It was time. Time rots everything, Booker. Even hope.
I was coming.
Songbird. He always stops you.
Yes, but I would find a way.
No. It's too late for me. I brought you here for your sake. Yours and hers.
So this is what happens in one scenario of the game. To give you an idea of just how vastly jarring
What is this?
and beautiful the game can be, at the same time it can be just as
You'll know how to
horrifying
read
and
it.
disturbing.
What does it say?
It's advice.
Advice on what?
How not to become me.
And now all of a sudden we're back into the bright, colorful world again. Now no discussion of Bioshock is going to be complete without discussing one of its key bad guys and visual effects. This guy, the Songbird. A constant and ever-present threat, but not an actual opponent that you can engage. Songbird serves as a sort of Deus Ex Machina when needed, but is mostly there as a reminder of the fact that there's always something that you can't stop pursuing you.
Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt.
Bring us the girl and wipe away the dead.
Now, these little flashbacks here are part of the game's ability to change tone and style shockingly and suddenly and immediately revert back to the actual game. Now this may look familiar to people who saw the E3 demo, which if you did, you've already seen this. It takes place in a little bit different location and context, but it happens all the same. Now you get the impression, and it is more or less stated throughout the game, that Songbird cannot be fought, and he cannot be beaten. And there's really no chance for you to do that in the game anyway, so it doesn't matter. What Songbird serves as is both the most interesting characterization of a creature ever, as far as, you know, Bioshock is concerned. But also he's the other half of Elizabeth's character, is that her fear and concern about Songbird is a big part of what she does. You know, she is more afraid of him than anything, and for good reason. Now, that being said, in the end, this is a game that has to be experienced. I will tell you to buy it, PC, Mac, PC, Xbox, doesn't matter. Get it, one way or another. The experience between Booker and Elizabeth, the characterization and personality, the beauty of the world around her, and the way it is delivered and given such life is absolutely amazing. You must experience it to see for yourself what games can do. In a lot of ways, Bioshock Infinite is the perfect example of what a game can be. It's a game with engaging and enthralling gameplay, enjoyable, intense, focused, yet at the same time, it has a story and characters that I would hold up to almost any movie. And in fact, not just movies in general, but the best of the best in cinema. From a scene where you're fighting the private army of a disgruntled soldier, driven to madness by the actions of his former employer, to a scene where that same soldier demands that you execute him rather than be defeated by his worst enemy. He'd rather die at your hands, the hands of a real soldier, than the hands of the man he hates. These are the type of things that make this game work.
You're not done here, soldier!
That these characters, even those who are just small parts, have such personality to it. Decisions you make don't change the outcome, but they'll make you question who you are. Buy Bioshock Infinite.